Good morning. My name is Megan Barlow. I moved to Greensboro and became a member of First Baptist Greensboro when I was in the 4th grade. However, before that, I would frequently visit my family who were all members here. I think most of you knew my pa, Ken Tutterow, and my great-grandmother, Sadie Weaver. I suppose that my faith story begins like many others in this church. I was born into a Christian home, and I attended my first service at FBC Lenoir when I was only 4 days old. I grew up going to Sunday school, choir, and big church. My summers were dedicated to Vacation Bible School and Marywood Christian Camp. It wasn't until I entered high school that I realized that I had begun to doubt what my parents and Sunday school teachers were telling me. Early on in my freshman year of high school, I lost my grandfather. My pa was a very important person in both my life and in my faith. It was in that moment that my faith in God and the church truly crumbled. Why would such a good and loving God take such a wonderful and caring man? I was having a hard time answering that question myself. It was several months later, well into my sophomore year of high school, when my mother and I were out to eat, that she asked me about my lack of interest in the church. I remember looking at her and saying, "I do not believe that there is a God." I guess I expected some big reaction or a lecture from her, but she just said that questioning was normal and that I should keep asking the tough questions. I continued to come to church and attend youth because that was my mother's one request, but she never pushed me for more. I think she knew that this was something that I would have to work out for myself. I never had a blinding aha moment, a moment that shattered or changed my world. But through my friends and family and teachers, my doubt began to fade. I began to accept that everything I taught as a child was true. And I think that my travels to other parts of the world, Romania, Peru, and Costa Rica, also helped me to see the true meaning of faith and develop a deep love for God. In all of these people, children and families had so little, and yet they were all so very happy. Even though they had saw loss and suffering in their lives, they still had such a deep faith. So for me, there was a slow, calming return to my firm foundation of faith. With me, I have my great-grandmother's Bible. It is held together by tape, and it has newspaper clippings and notes all throughout the worn pages. This is what faith is. It is an old, worn-out, familiar Bible that is a part of your everyday life. It is believing, it is doubt, it is God. I will close with one of my great-grandmother and mother's favorite verses, Jeremiah 29:11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future."